Power.
Oh, where's the power?
The big box over there. Big switch on the far right.
Assisting?
I'm assisting. I am assisting.
Yeah, I'm a little
You're
bit
Adam's
compromised.
assistant.
There you go.
They're compromised.
Here's left hand.
I can see them.
Oh, shit.
Well, I can see them right now.
Right hand.
I just can't. I didn't know where they were at.
Stick.
Stick. Torch.
Torch.
Is that what it's
Wand.
called?
Wand.
Wand, torch, it's all the same.
Same.
Oh, okay, go ahead, flick me on.
Oh, I'll flick you on for sure.
Yeah. Look on this side, on the passenger door.
Okay.
My little stick here.
Yeah.
How close am I to the ground?
So what ground?
To the ground way down here somewhere?
No, you got plenty of room.
I'm not gonna accidentally touch it?
No, shouldn't. No. You can put a towel over just in case?
Yeah, because it'll shock the out of me if I do.
Make sure he doesn't.
Yeah. Make sure he does it. That'll
Be
be
on ground duty.
Real bad. Down in there. Once I get these back in and get the hoop and stuff back in and bolted to this, I'll take it up, take the rear mufflers off, and weld those to the frame. And that's essentially what I'm doing up here too. Is I'm welding the front ones. I had to chip out a section of the floorboard.
Oh wow.
Tell us a little bit, well, first of all, like, what are you doing? I noticed the cage isn't in here. It was in here, now it's not in here. Why?
Yeah, so I had finished putting in these rear supports for the back bars of the cage. They needed to be passed through the fiberglass composite board into the aluminum part of the frame and welded. Now that that's done, I had to remove the main hoop and those rear bars so I can attach my ground to the next part to be welded, which is the main hoop floor pieces here that are currently tacked in, and I'm going to weld those from the bottom to the frame as well. So they'll be, welded top, bottom, and a couple of the sides. That way this main hoop is supported and welded essentially to the main frame as well.
So is this kind of a uniquely difficult chassis or challenging chassis to do this kind of thing on, because the tub is fiberglass and it's kind of because the packaging also with like some of the transmission and stuff like that being in the back, does that like kind of make accessing the frame rails that you need to mount to difficult, or?
It's not so much the access, obviously that's a little tighter, but it more comes down to the fact that the chassis itself, the main frame structure, is aluminum. So in order to utilize a steel roll cage like the one we have, you have to have it bolt somewhere. There's no way to weld it to it. You wouldn't use an aluminum roll cage either.
Right, you can't weld steel to aluminum.
Right, so you need to significantly attach it to a harder, stiffer point than rather just going through the composite into the aluminum, or have some smaller fixture on the aluminum. Basically the original way we had it was bolted in, which kind of sandwiched the composite and aluminum with plates. Which is not a terrible way to do it, but you still have that composite in there for give. Now there's not going to be any give. The angle aluminum pieces that we're welding to it are 1/4 inch thick. The whole cage, once these points are welded in, it'll be rated for 8.5 and under.
What are we doing? We're about to go put deodorant on the Jeep so it shuts up, and then we'll come back to this in a minute. I've never tried it with the gel deodorant, but let's see.
No way. Bro, it smells good.
It's, yeah, here, Carl have a nice smell to it, and it'll stop squeaking, so.
Thank God! You have deodorant! Oh, sweet, thank you. I was looking all around for that shit. Yeah, it actually worked. Yeah, it actually did. Well, you gotta hit the other side of the bell.
It doesn't smell good enough yet.
How do I get like my hand sucked around and how do I get the other side? Yeah, you lift your hand.
It's in a cage.
Oh yeah.
Great success.
Thank you.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Hey, towel.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Wait, let me see the towel.
Ouch. The cool thing
Well, that
though
part.
is that this Jeep has never smelled better.
Counterclockwise, so started it.
So when this is done, will it be technically an 8-point or a 10-point or?
It'll be an 8-point. They call it an 8-point plus sometimes, just due to the fact of where the bars kind of attach. It's basically just the amount of points that the cage attaches to the chassis. So it's essentially 8 points.
So it's not like we're not going through the firewall or anything with it, or?
No, I mean, a normal roll cage, to get 8 points, you would normally go through the firewall, down through the dash, take the windshield out, go to another point up front, which would be better because it overall strengthens the structure of the unibody. But being that it's a little more difficult, there's not a lot of structure up there because it narrows in a lot. And there's a lot of other stuff in the way. They also utilize this back hump here, which is kind of a core area for this chassis. So this becomes one of the points as well. So you have these two back here. The two down bars here, they're kind of like a little arc that helps support the back end of the main hoop. The main hoop bars, and then the forward ones by the A-pillars and the foot. Now with the cage going in, that flex is going to be essentially eliminated, as well as twisting, which is going to help a lot as far as traction, per side and corner.
That was one of the things that that was going to be my next question is, this should help with those basically triangulation points. This should help minimize some of that crab walking and stuff on launch, correct? Like, because it's like the chassis itself isn't going to have as much uneven flex.
These are pretty stout as well with their keeping it flat with the suspension they have now, especially if you tune a little bit or put a little bit different coilover or something along the lines to help keep it planted. But for sure, when you get in the high horsepower and you're a little more solidly mounted, you get a lot more twist in the body, regardless of what you do with your suspension. So adding the roll cage is going to correct a lot of that. And like you said, triangulation is key, and not only for laterally, but front to back for that flex and keeping the chassis as flat and straight as you can get it.
Yeah.
I take these out.
Okay.
And then once I'm done with the bottom, I'm gonna put the main hoop back in,
Okay.
and then put it back together, tack the halo,
Oh shit. Okay.
so that way I can make sure get that welded in.
Yeah. Sweet.
So we've run into a little bit of a snag with the cage. So as you saw, we were talking with Adam a little bit earlier about welding in basically the mounting points for the cage back here. So one of the problems though that we're having is that because this is originally a bolt-in cage that we're effectively trying to weld supports for, this section right here for the door bar is really far away from the actual frame rail. So we are trying to figure out exactly how to sort that, because generally speaking, this would be further over. The problem is because this is a street car, it has the door cards, and race cars don't generally have door cards. So we can't take the cage too far this way. So what Adam was talking about doing was basically custom fabricating a plate that will come that far over to try and keep that where it is, so we can keep the door cards and also have the removable door bars. So we're probably going to have to pick this up a little bit later, which means unfortunately the cage probably won't be finished in this video, but should be finished by the next one. So
Computer would actually
coding?
recognize. Matt's coding. Hacking the
coder?
mainframe.
You're a
Yeah.
coder now?
Well,
You're a coder.
I actually spent like an hour yesterday learning how to do this stuff. I spent most of the night last night and then today. So
Dedication.
now I know how to program these PDUs, the EMUs, and then set up the heads-up display, the switch panels. Like I can go in and program and make it do whatever I want to now. That's not just a standard hazard. Like I went in there and set the pulse rate, how long the light's on.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I programmed all that. And then, or I could go in and I could set it to 1.
That's pretty cool. But
Huh.
I want to know, how much horsepower does a horse have?
Wait, what? One, right?
A horse has to have more than 1 horsepower.
Well, that's what they gauge.
It is a horse. Wait,
It's-
so you're saying they
it's a
gauge? So 300 horsepower is 300 horses?
Yes. No?
No. 300 horses is going to have more than 300 horsepower.
So how much torque does one horse produce? There's a question for you.
There's a YouTube video, they tested that.
How much horsepower a horse has?
Yeah.
How much torque?
I'm guessing like 4.
It's torque, they figured it out.
Really?
Oh, I bet a horse makes more than 4 foot-pounds of torque.
Yeah?
I bet.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen?
That was kind of dumb.
I want to bet.
I'm gonna say 400
400?
for one horse.
Bruh.
400 foot-pounds?
Dude, horses are fun.
Nah, there's no way. No shot.
Strong, man.
Have you ever seen?
Alright, fine.
I'm not sure about torque, but horsepower, I'm guessing like.
See,
No.
what was the horse? What was the horse that horsepower was rated off of?
Yeah.
5.
Who was the first horse?
Just the average horse. Average horse.
What's an average horse to you? A quarter horse?
Oh, no. Now we're getting
What is
into
a
the...
quarter horse? It's a type of
A
horse.
three-legged horse, obviously.
It's the most common horse that people have.
Wait, no, that'd
Is,
be- that'd be a
is
three
what they
quarter.
call a quarter horse.
I see what you're doing.
Another phone. So I'm just looking. How much horsepower does a horse have?
Clydesdales.
So what about whenever you
Clydesdales.
hook? Okay, that's another question.
This is a very
If you hook a
work-related
wagon to a quarter horse and you hook a wagon to a Clydesdale,
Which one's going faster?
okay, just to give you an idea, a Clydesdale are the big horses that pull the Budweiser wagon. You stand next to them and their backs are like here.
Yeah. Beast.
So obviously a quarter horse isn't going to make as much torque as a freaking Clydesdale.
So it's like a Big Mac to a quarter pounder.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
It said the Scottish inventor James Watt calculated that what it is to create torque or measured torque is how much work a horse could do in 1 minute. Peak output of your typical workhorse breed would be 15.
15 horsepower?
Yeah.
15 horsepower.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we are checking out a project that we got going on next week, and that is Rift, our other CT5 Blackwing that we're building. The engine is right here. Well, this is the engine block. We've got a cart full of parts out there that we'll give you a little sneak peek of right here. But what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna unwrap this little block here and have a look at this LME iron block that's gonna be going in it. The goal is when it's done, it's going to take the record for the overall fastest CT5 Blackwing. Right now we hold the record for the fastest stick shift Blackwing with the WIKD Blackwing. This one we're hoping we'll be able to take the record for the automatic, which is just the record for the world's fastest CT5 Blackwing. So this is the engine block that we got from LME that's going to help us do that. Oh yes, look at these pistons.
That's super clean.
Yeah. So actually we had a comment asking on one of our previous videos, like why would we put a cast iron block in there because the car is already heavy. Short answer, power, reliability. The superchargers on it, well, obviously not on it. The supercharger that was on it, is going back on it, is a Magnuson. It's been ported. It's got some very aggressive heads that are going to be going on there next week. And basically, we want to set a record and we want to do it in a car that's not going to blow up. So this is kind of the early stages. Matt's already stabbed the head studs in and everything. And so now it's just going to be a matter of getting it assembled. So definitely check out the video for next week because we're going to definitely go into depth on doing that.
God. He was taking a sip, and I guess like there was a little bit left, and he just slung it out. And he didn't realize that there was still some.
Hey,
Hey, would you? Son of a...
you got it on my camera. What was that?
Refreshing.
Got my mouth.